As a child, Emmie would not smile. Her family wondered about her and what they could do to help.
Making Emmie Smile. I adored this piece. The animation is really striking and distinctive. It has a kind of photorealism to it while still being appropriately otherworldly. But the expressions are perfect in a story where expressions are quite important, as the title suggests. I was intrigued rather by the undercurrent of the potential theme of grief here. Emmie's parents are not present in the story, and their absence is never necessarily explained, but that's okay. I was wondering if she was dealing with the grief of their loss, and that was why she wasn't smiling. At the end of it, though, regardless, the message is beautiful, positive, and upbeat. You know, that sometimes all a child needs is that physical affection and that security of a hug in order to smile.
Making Emmie Smile, I really enjoyed this. I thought the animation was great, but I loved the story behind it, and I loved that they kind of left things a little bit vague with mentioned like an aunt and a cousin, I think, or an uncle or something like that, and grandparents, and they mentioned all these different types of family members, but never like siblings or parents, and they left it kind of vague of like what the circumstances were. And because I feel like the point they were trying to make is, at the end of the day, none of the rest of that mattered. None of the circumstances surrounding the definitions of the family or how they came to be really mattered. The thing that mattered was this little girl and her happiness, and the lengths that they were willing to go to make her smile and make her happy. And I also just thought that another thing they kind of touched well on was the ways that different people feel cared for and loved, and the way that they feel giving that and the way they feel receiving that, which can oftentimes be two very, very different experiences. And the thing that all of these, their different methods all had in common was trying to connect, trying to get through. And I think at the end they just went with like the most simple version of that, which is just a hug. Just a hug, which I think can convey, I see you, you're here, I accept you as you are, and I'm going to be there for you. And then everything else kind of came after it, after that base connection had kind of been established. I thought it was beautiful, I thought it was lovely, and it was really like tender and heartwarming.
Making Amy smile. Okay, this was very cute. It's very short, but it's a very lovely story because everyone tries to cheer this little girl and, well, to make her smile, and no one knows how. They give her roses, gifts, food, but nothing works. And we as audience wonder, well, what's the problem? Why is she smiling? How come a little girl be so serious all the time? And then it comes the most beautiful, emotional, lovely solution, that is that all this girl needs, it's a hug. And that was so heartwarming and lovely. I love when the whole family comes around her and hugs her. I think it gives away a very important message that material stuff aren't as important as love, as actual love, as an actual gesture of love. I love this message and I love this film, and the animation was very good too. So I quite enjoyed this piece. Thank you very much for sending it.
Making Emmie Smile. I think the opening to this is just beautiful, and the sound, the cinematography, the lighting. At first, I didn't realize that it was animated. I thought it was a real place, live action at first, till of course the characters came in. Great colors. I thought it was a cute, simple concept and well executed, except for one thing. Being very nitpicky here, but it made me wonder: is she adopted? Is she going through something? I mean, she was a tough audience, this kid, tough crowd to get to smile, but it said, I think the narration said as a kid she didn't smile, but then somebody hugged her and she smiled. So I guess I was like, does she not get hugs very often? I wanted to know what was going on with the child. I guess I would love to see a little bit more about that. So that is the only question I had. I love the animation, the characters, everything else was just really great and spot on. So great job.
Making Emmie smile is such a task for this family, and that's exactly what we get to see throughout the entire experience of this short film. We're watching these incidents and these acts of effort made to be able to get Emmie to smile, and she is not having it. And so when we finally get that reap of reward of that, finally getting that moment where she gets to experience some joy by the end of the film, we feel that sense of satisfaction that we get as viewers, because here we're seeing all of these people go to the extra miles to be able just to get just a crack a smile of something, and we don't really get that in the beginning. So when we finally do, it's an enjoyable experience, and the animation is pretty well done too. It definitely reminds me, Emmie herself reminds me of the character, one of the characters from like Wreck-It Ralph, Despicable Me, like that sort of realm of look and feel and vibe. And that's a really good job when you can do animation work and have it be compared to such very notable pieces of art.